What's up, everybody? It's Anthony Cosenza with the Orange and Black Insider Bengals podcast and CincyJungle.com coming at you. A holiday season. My co-host is already festive. Look at him. A holiday version of the fantasy football show on the Orange and Black Insider. Anthony Cosenza, joined by my buddy Derek Davis, a.k.a. the Orange Arrow, who will be in full regalia, I understand, on Sunday at Paul Brown Stadium against the Ravens. Derek, happy holidays. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing just fine. Yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll. Ready to. I'm excited for the game. Really, there's some exciting stats and stuff like that I've seen that leans towards the Bengals in this Sunday matchup. And before we get started, I got to ask you. I don't know if this is just the first time I've noticed this, or if this is the first time you've done that intro. The black leather hat that you have, the Bengals one. I'm not sure if it's leather or if it's not leather, but it almost looks like a leather hat on the intro. You've got to let me know where you got that.
I'll have to go back and look at that, which one you're referring to. There is one on there that is kind of an old school look. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. I don't think I own any leather ones. But I do own some. I own a lot of different hats. I'm a hat guy. I like rocking the hats.
Yep.
And occasionally when I have a decent hair day, I'll let the hat come off there, but I like to keep it casual. That's my deal. I'll have to find that out. I didn't know which one you're referring to there, and I'll see and let you know. I've got too many hats. My wife doesn't like it. Anyway, well, we're gonna get to a lot of different stuff here. We've got some fantasy football kind of sits, starts, or what do you call them? You call them fades and
flex.
Fade and flex. Look at that. I love it.
Love
Fade
it.
and flex. We'll go through some of the lines and some of the games this week, and then some players that we feel are maybe some good ideas for you as your fantasy football season. It wraps next week, after next week, right?
Championship
That's usually the
week
finals.
next week. Yep.
Yeah. So we're coming down the home stretch here. So let's start, though, with some of the things that let's recap last week, some of the plays and players that we spoke about. I think we maybe talked about, I'd have to go back and remember this now, but I think we talked about Jamar Chase, and we'll talk more about him this week, but yikes if you started him last week. One catch for 3 yards. That's a big yikes. But if you played Tyler Boyd, that was a good play.
Yeah, so last week, actually, in my work league, I had Jamar Chase, I had Joe Mixon, I had CJ Uzomah was a player, which he didn't turn out too bad, but I mean, in a tight end league, he got me like 4 to 5 points, which not terrible, but yeah, I had some bad beats in my work league, and unfortunately got kicked out by 6 or 7 points, but I've heard a lot of people, that ended up getting upset last week because of the just a weird week last week. I mean, you had guys like Tyreek Hill who really didn't. I mean, I guess he had somewhat of, or not Tyreek Hill, Taysom Hill. That's the one I was thinking about. He had a strange game. He finished his quarterback 10, which I was not expecting. Guys like Saquon Barkley who just didn't. I mean, I think he finishes like the RB 50 or somewhere along those lines. And Alvin Kamara it was ridiculous what happened last week.
Yeah, that kind of some unexpected results in some games and unexpected outputs by some players and all kinds of different things. But all in all, hopefully you all had a productive week. Hopefully you took heed to my guys' advice there, and listen to some of the sage advice that he doled out last week. Look, there's obviously a big game coming up in Cincinnati this week between the Bengals and the Ravens, and it is unclear as to some players' statuses in this game because of COVID, because of injuries, because of all kinds of stuff. Let's start with Jamar Chase, though. And Jamar Chase is, like I said, coming off a game where not a great one for him. And we keep, he congratulations to him, by the way. He made the Pro Bowl, and deservedly so, especially for the first half of the season. But, the Bengals are going to need him to kind of start coming back alive, I think, down the stretch, at least for the occasional big play. Had one catch for 3 yards against the Broncos. I don't know, man. What do you think? What are you thinking about Jamar Chase going forward this week? Had the gigantic game against the Ravens last time, and the Baltimore Ravens are extremely banged up and or COVID riddled in these secondary spots. I don't know, man. What are you thinking about Jamar Chase this week?
Yeah, you said it right there. That their secondary is riddled, and I mean they're starting guys off the practice. Their secondary is almost the same as ours was last year, where you've got a lot of injuries and a lot of things that you're dealing with, and you're basically just flipping a coin on who's going to start this week. But last year he done really good against. I think it was week 7 against the Ravens, and I look for him to get back off the schneid from last week. And interestingly enough, our one of our buddies, Willie Lutz, he retweeted something from Warren Sharp at Sharp Football about Fangio's defense and how crazy they are. The teams are averaging 16.6 points per game when they go up against the Broncos. And then the following week, it goes all the way from 16.6 to 38.5 points per game in their next game against whatever team they're playing. So
Wow.
I expect Jamar Chase to really, ball out this week, and let's look for some more 30-plus yard touchdowns this week.
Well, that would be music to the Bengals ears and fans' ears for sure. I just, he's one of those guys that obviously is a big play looking for a place to happen. It's just, consistency, youth, offensive line play, defenses clamping down on all kinds of different factors that are coming into play here. Let's continue on that same game. There is some questions. And by the way, I've had a couple of, we have an interview. We had an interview with Justin from Engraven Vids on our Thursday night show. You got to check that out. Dude is awesome, talking about the Ravens and letting you know all kinds of different stuff going on there. Also, I had the pleasure of being on 410 Sports Talk, a Ravens podcast with Glenn and James, two great guys who have also been on this show as well. Awesome guys. Go check out that video. We had a lot of fun chatting about this game here. And there seems to be kind of in the fan base, this isn't really what we're going to talk about on this show per se, but there seems to be kind of a dividing line of Tyler Huntley fully healthy versus Lamar Jackson, maybe 80-85%. Who's better? What's the better play? And right now, despite the arguments for or against either guy, right now it would appear, as we sit here right on Christmas when we're airing this episode, it would appear early in the week that Tyler Huntley is going to get the start against the Bengals based on Lamar Jackson not practicing in the middle of the week. But a lot of things can play out. We know that. That being said, Tyler Huntley had an outstanding game last week against the Green Bay Packers. 4 total touchdowns, was a dual threat, 2 through the air and 2 on the ground. Now, in talking with Justin, none of the passes that he made were of the deep ball variety per se. They were more kind of, yards after the catch type of things that players made good plays on afterward for him. Lamar Jackson has a little bit more of the big play opportunities through the air. Both can run the ball, etc. Okay. As you get to this time of year with fantasy football lineups, injuries, COVID, all that kind of stuff, where guys are in and out of lineups and all that kind of stuff, what do you tell someone right now before kickoff on Sunday if they're talking about potentially starting this guy? Or is it just, you really got to wait and see until basically kickoff to make that decision? Or I don't know. I just, I think this guy has the ability, even if the Bengals seem to have the upper hand this week, he has the ability to put up fantasy points and make this a competitive game.
Yeah. So one thing I was going to suggest, one of my fades of the week was Lamar Jackson, just because of the, he did all right. I think he scored 25, 26 fantasy points against us in week 7. But this defense has really, really come together since then and really stifled teams and shown, I think they've shown their true colors. And I forget who said this, but the past couple years, this team has basically been built to stop Lamar Jackson and to stop the Ravens offense. And the Huntley guy, I'm trying to think, what do they call him? Slim Huntley or something like that. I can't remember. Somebody had a pretty fun nickname for the guy, but he's basically a Lamar Jackson clone. Like you said, he might not have as strong of an arm as Lamar Jackson has, but they play the same style. And if you are relying on either of these two, if you have Lamar Jackson and you have Huntley as your backup just in case he doesn't play, and you're deciding between an injured Lamar Jackson or starting, somebody else, I would, as long as you have another top 10 guy, I would venture, if you've got a Joe Burrow, if you've got I was going to say Taysom Hill, but he was put on the COVID list this week. So it's really going to be a matter of who suits up for week 16 as far as who to start, because you really have to pay attention this week to all the news and stuff. But yeah, Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, Tom Brady, guys like that, I would definitely look to start them over a Lamar or a Huntley.
What about Joe Mixon? He's got the ankle injury, went up against a tough defense last week.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Joe Mixon's going to play this week. Has obviously been when he's played, he has been one of the most productive backs, not only just statistically, and congratulations on his first Pro Bowl nod as well, well-deserved, but also just from a fantasy perspective, he's been a top running back as kind of expected this season. A lot of people felt that he was going to have one of those. He's always been a good back, but they felt like this was going to be a great season for 28, and rightfully so. That's what happened. But what do you think this week with the ankle injury, potentially the Ravens keying on him, coming off a lackluster game, though it was against a tough Broncos defense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I look for him. He's in that range or he's that kind of running back where you're going to start him no matter what. The Ravens front four is I haven't heard any updates on because didn't they have a couple players enter the COVID for their defensive front? I can't remember exactly who they were, but yes, the Ravens.
Yeah, I think Matabuike. I think Justin Matabuike is the guy that I think he's a defensive lineman for them, and I think he's I think he might be placed on that list.
But yeah, Joe, right now they've got him ranked as a RB2 in that running back 22 range. And as long as you've got a top 24 running back, you're going to start him each and every week. So I think he'll finish somewhere around that 15 or higher. But still a starter nonetheless.
Okay. Who else are you keeping your eye on? This is one of our trickiest episodes. I mean, we talked about it before we took the air here a little bit of like, you told me like I've got some good guys potentially to play, or I had some guys eyed earlier this week potentially to play. Mm-hmm. That would be a good situation for people in their fantasy leagues, but with so much stuff, injuries, COVID, etc., it's hard to kind of put your thumb down on someone and be like, that's the guy to play this week. But who are a couple of other guys that intrigue you to help out people as they get through the playoffs and potentially their fantasy football championship?
Yeah, so one guy, and I know this is going to scare people to do in, possibly with the playoffs on the line and everything, but one guy I suggested, if he comes off of the COVID protocol, which he got put on the COVID protocols the day after the Arizona game, is Jared Goff. And from everything I'm hearing, it sounds as if he has a chance to play. I've heard, he's vaccinated, asymptomatic, doing all that stuff that nobody can really follow anymore because they changed the rules it seems like every week. But It seems as if he has a good chance to play this week. So Jared Goff, the last 3 weeks, he's finished as a top 12 quarterback, and he's put up some pretty good points. So this week I would expect, if he think they've got him ranked as quarterback 25 on the week, and I could see a top 12 finish from him. And then another guy was Tony Pollard and Jared Cook. Tony Pollard is a guy that he's in that back end, running back 3 range. He's ranked right now as RB 36, but I see him finishing within that top 24 because it seems like they don't want Zeke to have that full workload. And I said Zeke, and my dog looked at me. That's his name. So, but yeah, they don't want to give him that full workload right now, especially with where they are sitting in the playoff race and looking comfortably to get that AFC or NFC East crown. So I would look for Tony Pollard to get a heavier workload this week.
Most important question: what kind of dog do you have? What's the breed?
He is a Chihuahua Pug mix.
Oh wow! So, okay.
Yeah, he's
little guy.
Little guy. Yeah, that was cute. A anniversary or I don't know, a Christmas present or something like that for my wife. Several years ago. Let's see.
I was gonna say 10 year,
10 years ago. Yeah, he's
okay.
He's an older dog, but
okay. So do you see now? I don't see a situation this week, potentially next week, and I know that's why the fantasy football playoffs cut off that before the final week of the season because teams sometimes rest players and that kind of throws off lineups. But do you see anything looking ahead 1 week? Any teams? I know things have to play out a bit more this week, but just seeing the log jams in a lot of different divisions in both conferences, I'm not really seeing a big scenario where in next week people are going to have to shed lineups or do all kinds of different things for their championships. But I don't know if you think differently.
No, yeah, that's one thing. It seems like each and every year you've got, between the Chiefs or the Buffalo Bills, they like to do that a lot. I'm trying to think of the Rams. The Rams love to do that. I forget how many. It was like 2 or 3 years. It might have been the Super Bowl year where they rested their starters for like 2 games. But yeah, this year I think with everybody being as close as they are, and everybody is still up on the AFC side. It's still up in the air for that number 1 spot in the bye. The Bengals. There is a path for the Bengals to get the number 1 seed in the AFC. So with all of that going on, I don't see any guys really resting their starters. Maybe week 18 when they, there are some teams that say, okay, we're not going to progress in the playoffs, move up the line. We're not going to regress or, that kind of stuff. This AFC side, definitely not. NFC side, the Packers are starting to kind of separate from everyone else. So you might see a scenario championship week where they say, okay, we're going to give Aaron Rodgers the week off because of that toe injury.
And what do they do with the 2 running backs, et cetera? Yeah.
Right. So really the only team I can see with that kind of scenario is the Green Bay Packers, and that's only if they take care of business this week and possibly next week. So it's really I would say no team will.
Okay. Before we get into the lines, some other best bets, etc., anybody else that we missed that you want to highlight this week, or any other maybe sneaky strategies for folks as they set their lineups for the semifinals? Or is it, hey, you know what? Don't overthink this thing. Be it injuries, COVID, etc. Just kind of take the
guys that got you there.
Yeah.
Play the guys that got you there. Don't try to get too cute. There's a league where I've played. I say that, and yeah, I'm going to do it. But there's a league that I'm in where I've got Ryan Tannehill. I've got Joe Burrow as my 2 quarterbacks, and I'm deciding right now between Tannehill, Fields, and Jared Goff. So I'm not going to start Fields, or I guess you should say, since this will be aired later, I didn't start Fields on the Thursday night, or Tannehill, the Thursday night matchup. So it'll be between Jared Goff and Fields for me. But yeah, don't try to get too cute. Just start the guys that got you there. Don't be scared. Don't get scared of everything that happened last week. Tom Brady not scoring a single touchdown, that kind of stuff, that won't happen again. And I say that, and you watch this Sunday will be another crazy week or something. But but yeah, just have fun, enjoy it. Don't get beat up like I did and want to drink a whole bottle of bourbon after you lost.
There you go. There you go. Well, before we get to the lines and stuff and some other things, I want to give you the chance. I know you've been a busy guy with some day job stuff. You did start up a YouTube fantasy football show. I know you'll probably, or at least my understanding is that you're going to probably re-kick that thing off coming up here after, because I think the holidays were pretty busy for you at your day job. But wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that, and then we'll talk about the league you created and what's being generated there. But this is the YouTube channel. Hey, you see, there's a subscribe. I'm subscribed there. So your YouTube channel, and what are you planning for, putting you on the spot here? What are you planning for coming up ahead here in the winter, spring, and then obviously as the 22 season gets going?
Yeah. So, I'm probably not going to, like you said, I'm probably not going to start it up until after the season. We'll start talking. Maybe we'll do a little bit of the draft talk after the draft. So you're looking April, May kind of area. Once you start seeing where players are going, and stuff like that, I'll start to kick things back off, and we'll talk about fantasy football for the 2022 season. But yeah, we'll do some betting, some fantasy football. I'm gonna try to really kick this thing off, and maybe I'll invite you, Anthony, to come back over, and we'll do some mock drafts and some stuff like that. And yeah, it's a labor of love on that one for sure. But I definitely want to get that thing kicked back off again. And then, like you said, with the basically what this all is about and what it's all for is the Orange Arrow Charity Fantasy League. And this year we did several teams that were I don't know if you can pull up probably not the teams that made it into the playoffs, but we had 4 leagues this year, all of the money going towards the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund. And we donated, or I think we got over $1,000 to $1,500 this year in donations. Hopefully next year we can build this thing up even more. I will do even more leagues. If I have to manage 200 leagues, I will do it, because it's all about helping those in need, and that's all I do this for. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I hope everybody that was in it enjoyed it this year.
Yeah, it was fun. I quickly I quickly took off my record and my standing there, because I think I was 5-9, a little embarrassing there. So I don't know if I'll be welcomed back because of because I'm not as competitive of a player in the league, or maybe I will be welcomed back with open arms because I'm an easy win week in, week out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of what you were talking about. This is a tweet you put out here. Here's some of the images of people that went further in the league here. So there's the Burrow League. I think you did there's 4 leagues, right? Chase.
Yep.
And you got the Mixon League. So we're in the semifinals here. So yeah, LFG Cincy, by the way, in there. We like LFG Cincy. Not that we don't like any of these others.
The same
here he is though
crew.
in the Chase League. He's in the semis. So a little bit of home cooking there. I don't know, but hey, at least
you've got Birmingham Meadery there as well.
Oh yeah, there you go, down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it shows. It just confirms that you know what you're talking about. You are right in the thick of things in the fantasy football league. But I wanted to highlight that as we've done a couple times, because it's awesome what you do there, and the fact that you do it for a good cause. It's pretty awesome. So kudos to you. And really, there's so many people that are Bengals fans that are doing cool stuff. I saw Zim this week is giving away sweet tickets to the Chiefs Bengals game. So if you got a cool story about someone deserving of that, go respond to his tweet or shoot him an email. Really, really cool gesture from him.
Absolutely.
You're doing charitable stuff. Just a lot of cool things that are going out there and a lot of cool charities. This time of year, we get so wrapped up in, buying people's gifts and doing all kinds of different things. And, unfortunately, there are a lot of people who aren't as fortunate, and there are a lot of causes and stuff that are worthy to, give time and or money, items, whatever they need donated.
Absolutely.
So
hey, don't forget to prop up all the stuff that you guys have done. I mean, for the I'm trying to think of all. I mean, you guys have done so much for all kinds of different charities.
Well, we just do what we can, but it's really cool. Bengals captain does a lot of stuff. Bengal Jim, I mean, gosh, he's doing a lot of stuff for the charities also. So, it's fun, and I really think that when they're, at least I hope that the people that are part of that, kind of see the impact the Bengals community is trying to make on that. And it's been a big one, with all kinds of different stuff. So very, very cool, and very cool on your end for raising some money for the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund through your fantasy football league. Before we get to best bets and lines, etc., for this week, do you know what time it is, Derek?
Is it symbol time?
It's symbol time, buddy. It is symbol time, and symbol is the stock market for sports. That is where you can invest in teams, whether it's the Cincinnati Bengals, whether it's other teams that you may be passionate about, teams you see a long-term potential, teams that you think you can make some money on the short term. But this is investment. This isn't sports betting. It's much more than that. It is playing sports and buying teams like they are stocks. Symbol, SIMBULL.com/OBI is the website. And if you go there using the promo code OBI, of course, short for Orange and Black Insider, you can get a 3-month long money back guarantee protecting up to $500 of your money when you sign up. So if you go in there, you drop $500 into an account and you start playing around with things, you don't like the platform, maybe you lost some money, whatever the case may be, you can get out of there within 90 days and they will protect your money, get it back to you. That is how confident they are that you will be successful using their platform. But you got to use the promo code OBI, and you got to use it by going to symbol, SIMBULL.com/OBI, and take advantage of some great opportunities with Symbol. And I know my buddy Derek, he's made quite a pretty penny, I think, on the Cincinnati Bengals, based on the early partnership with Symbol.
Yeah, absolutely. When you guys first started talking about all that and talking about, I think they were doing a promotion where you get like $10 off your first share, or $10 or $15 off the first share, and I jumped right in on that, and I think the Bengals are all the way up to $50-$60 a share.
Yeah. It's been fluctuating there, and I think it was almost a half or a third of that when we first signed up. So congratulations to you, my friend, and congratulations to others who have maybe
congratulations to Symbol. I mean, they've really taken off since then.
Yeah, it's awesome. Good to see. And we've had Kenneth on the show, the CEO of Symbol. He's a good dude, even though he's a Packers guy, but we'll let it slide. All right, let's get to some of the games, best bets, etc., and then get on out of here, Derek, if you are cool with that. This is courtesy of the lines. We'll pull this up in a second here, but anything initially kind of striking you? I know there's the Thursday night game and all kinds of different stuff. I mean, what is kind of striking you right now in terms of some of the lines and or other things that could be good plays for folks this week?
Yeah, so initially one of my favorite bets of the week, which when I was gathering all this on Wednesday, was the New Orleans Saints were getting 3 points, or it was New Orleans -3, which now we don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. So that line was actually taking off of the betting sites. So
that's something to navigate this week. Yeah, it's at the bottom there.
Yeah.
That's something to
Yeah.
navigate. That, by
Okay.
the way, the Miami, what have they won? 7 in a row, 6 in a row. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they're crazy
Yeah.
right
Five
now.
or has it been 7? Good Lord.
I think it's upwards of 5, at least 5. I think maybe 6 or
Yeah.
6 of 7 or something crazy. They're right in the playoff mix.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, it's crazy. But that's kind of the point too. I think you bring up a good point this week. Is this is one of those wacky weeks, right?
Yep.
Between COVID, between injuries, all that kind of stuff. Feel like we've talked about COVID a lot this episode,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
I mean it's part of the landscape, unfortunately, right now. So
Yep.
um, that's something to traverse if you're going to be betting this week, and you got to really pay attention, especially up to kickoff.
Right.
Or the announcement, 90 minutes before in terms of inactives and all that kind of stuff. And through the
Yep.
weekend, I know people may be busy with the holiday, et cetera, but if you're going to place some money on these things, you probably got to keep a pretty close eye on things. The Dallas-Washington game is really interesting in Dallas Sunday night. Washington
Yep.
getting anywhere from 10 to 10 and a half in that one. So, and that's a divisional game. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I think with that Washington game, they are really, really biased on what happened Tuesday night, where they just kind of got manhandled by Philly, and the Cowboys are a much better team in my eyes than Philly is. So I can see that 10.5 points being somewhat close to accurate, but that's one I would probably stay away from as far as betting goes, just because I'm just not a big fan of those big, college football style point spreads. But there's a couple of them that intrigue me in the AFC North. Actually, I'm betting on all of the AFC North games. I've got Cleveland plus 7.5. I think Cleveland getting 7.5 points against the Green Bay Packers. I think that's too much. And then the game you've got right there, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Kansas City Chiefs, I've got the Steelers plus 7.5 on that one as well. Do I think Pittsburgh's going to win? No, but I think the way they've been playing, those fourth quarter comebacks for
Yep.
Big Ben, I definitely think that you could get the backdoor cover there.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's one to definitely watch. You've got Chargers and Texans in Houston. That's an interesting one, especially with a 10-point line there. And what was it?
I would be, and you know what? I would honestly probably take Los Angeles and give up the points on that one, because Houston, they just I don't really know about them. Davis Mills looks like he could potentially be a top 32 quarterback in the league. Will he get that chance next year? I don't know, but he's definitely playing well. But the Chargers, that high-powered offense, I just don't see. If Austin Eckler is able to come off the COVID, I just don't see. And even if he doesn't, they've still got Justin Jackson. They've still got that other running back who I can't think of his name right now, but they've got several guys on that team to where I think that 10-point spread could be easily obtainable.
And then you've got a slate of early games, some quality ones there, but none of higher quality than the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the New York Jets in New York.
Yeah.
Oh man,
absolutely.
What a
and
dumpster fire of a game that is.
Yeah. And how would you feel being Robert Saleh and knowing you're a pick'em against a team without their head coach anymore? That's rough brutal. There. That's rough.
Brutal. Any of those three though? You got Ravens at Bengals. That's a tough one there. It's a 3 point.
I like the Bengals in the points. I really do. Like I said earlier before, teams coming off playing against Denver have averaged 38.8 points a game. And, the Ravens, other than these past couple weeks, the Ravens with Lamar Jackson struggle to get 20 points. So I could see that being an easy victory. I can also see a game where we kind of overlook them, but right now with the Ravens the way they are, I don't see this being a difficult game.
Okay.
And I know Bengals fans, famous last words. but I don't see this as being a very hard game at all.
Okay. Rams versus Vikings. That's another 3-point game for the home team there. Bills, Patriots, a big one in the AFC East. 2.5 points or 2, depending on the outlet you use there. Any thoughts on those last two before we hop out of here?
Yeah, Rams Vikings. I like Rams in -3 there. Matt Stafford and that whole crew. Odell Beckham is one of my fantasy football flexes this week, so look for him. The Vikings, they're staying in the games, but it just seems like they're not. Other than last week, they just haven't really been able to get off the schneid, so to speak. So, and then Bills Patriots. I don't think it'll be another 3 passing game for
No.
for the New England passing game, but I could see that being a close one as well. Give me the Bills on that one.
Okay. All right. Well, that is some of the games of the week and the thoughts from Derek Davis. Derek, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your holiday. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully the Bengals get a win for you in person. And if you want to go say hey to Derek, he will be at Paul Brown Stadium, dressed in his gear, probably grabbing some awesome picks as he usually does with all kinds of different fans. So enjoy yourself
Absolutely.
this weekend between the holiday and the game.
I will be repping the Christmas hoodie or the Christmas sweater. I won't be fully suited up. I will still have the hood, still have the mask. This will probably be on Sarah's head, but hey, we're going to go out there. We're going to have some fun. Come find me. We'll be hanging out at the Bengals Bomb Squad before the game. Take plenty of pictures. Enjoy this wonderful holiday. And tell me happy birthday. My birthday's the 27th. So
is it?
Oh, let's hopefully man. we'll celebrate a victory together.
Yeah, you got you got a big week ahead, man. Jeez. Wow.
Yep. That and then my daughter's birthday is on the 4th, so it's
wow.
All kinds.
Boom, boom, boom.
Super busy.
Yeah. Well, have fun. Take care. We'll catch up after the holiday. Hopefully we're talking about a Bengals win, but take care, my friend.
Absolutely. Who day?